Hey Sheldon, when you were going up against a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, what's kind of imperative from y'all's end as a just defensive line?
Uh, First thing is you can't get frustrated. Um, he's one of the most, he's not necessarily a 4 or 5 guy, but he's elusive in the pocket. He makes things happen. So the big thing is don't get frustrated. You're gonna beat your guy clean sometimes. He's gonna get the ball out. Um, there's gonna be times you get to him, and right as you get to him, he's getting the ball out. So um, we got to remain persistent in our rush, our approach, our game plan, and continue to pressure him. As good as he is, as good as any quarterback is, the more pressure you put on him, it's going to affect him. So that's probably the biggest thing thus far. You just got to remain persistent in the rush and not get frustrated, because that one time you get frustrated and don't execute, that's when he's over our head for a touchdown. So.
Next question's from Nick Underhill.
Sheldon, some live bullets, actual hitting. Just how do you feel being back out there through the first two?
Feel good. I think for me, I've always played the game. I've always been a rhythm player. So the more reps, the more I can start to feel my rhythm. The better I get. I liked some things in week 1, some things I didn't like. I was able to correct some of those things in week 2, but there's still some things I don't like. So each and every week, I'm just trying to grow. I like where I'm heading, and it won't be long till I'm really feeling like myself out there, getting in that rhythm and really doing the things I know I can do to help this defense.
Next question's from Amy Just.
Yeah, Marcus Davenport was at practice today. How exciting is that for y'all to just finally get him back, even if it is limited or just going through stretch?
Yeah, listen, it's always good to get that big guy back out there. I know he's been working his ass off, trying to get back out there and get back to the team and help us. So it's good to see him back out there. Obviously he's got to continue to take care of his business and continue to progress. But just getting him back out there for what little he was out there, that's big. We just got to continue to build on that, and then once we get him back into the fold, it's going to be scary.
Next question's from Mike Triplett.
Sheldon, has there been anything in particular that stood out to you that's just different to get adjusted to in empty stadiums, whether it's tactical or whether it's something you have to do on the sideline, or just any change to your routine? What has stood out as being the most different?
The most different, I'd just say, is like that first initial run onto the field. You're used to hearing crowd noise. You're used to hearing, cheers get louder, or when you're in an opposing stadium, you hear boos or something like that. But once you're out there and you're going through your routines of, stretch, pregame things, it's football. And then the moment the ball's kicked off, it's football. So I've never been a huge, y'all know me, I'm real even keeled all the time. So never really feed off anything else. I'm always just kind of, driving myself. So the crowd never really too much affected me, but, I think that's the biggest thing, just that initial run onto the field. You're just used to hearing crowd noise, whether it's boos, cheers, whatever it may be, but you don't hear that. But the moment you kick off and, we start going through the process, it's football. You gotta beat the guy in front of you.
Next question's from Amos Morel.
The team announced today that they'll let some fans go to this game. Do you have anybody coming to the game this weekend?
Listen, I just found out myself, so I have not thought that far ahead. My focus is just on trying to rebound from, Monday night, help this team and try to get out there and make as many plays as possible to help this defense, to help this team win the game.
You guys talking about that, got a lot of young guys on that line. Have you guys, you, Cam, and everybody, kind of, talk to them a little bit about, how we got to put that behind us and focus on this week?
Yeah, and I think the good thing about that is, they're a good group of guys who just kind of follow the lead. I think, it obviously starts with Cam, and then, guys like myself, David, Guys who've been here for a while, and we kind of set that tempo, and they kind of fall in line and go to work like we do. They just kind of follow our lead and don't say too much, don't get too high, too low, and they've been good for us so far. But yeah, they definitely get the message about we just got to continue to move forward. It's a long season, it's a marathon. Sean's always preaching that it's a marathon, so we can't allow a loss in week 2 to cause losses in week 3, 4, and so forth.
Next one's from John DeSager.
Sheldon, you guys have kind of been dealing with, I guess, more or less white noise in the background these first couple of games. But even during that, how much do you guys hear Craig?
Listen, if the stadium was full, you would hear Craig. So I don't matter how much noise they pump into it. He's Craig the Juice Man for a reason. And he provides that energy for us. Practice, game, playing cards, playing Nintendo, walking in the meetings. That's just who he is, and that's big for this team.
All right, you're all set. Thank you, Sheldon.
Thanks, Sheldon. Folks, we're going to have Ryan Ramczyk literally in a second. He's going to walk right up. Thanks, Sheldon.
Johnson.
Ryan, you've been hearing a bet from people back home this week, just with Packers on the schedule.
Oh yeah, everyone they're fired up for this game. Obviously, coming from Wisconsin, a lot of Wisconsin fans, or Packer fans, and a lot of converted Saints fans too. So yeah, I've definitely been hearing from people back home.
Next question's from Amy Just.
Yeah, when y'all are watching film after a loss like that, what was your immediate takeaways that the line needed to work on?
There was just some things we had to clean up in the run game, pass game as well. I think we did a good job right off the bat in the run game. Kind of slowed down a little bit there towards middle end of the game, and then some of the things in pass protection, it was. I took a turn and I had a penalty, a holding penalty, and it was kind of like a couple guys took their shot at, messing something up. So it's just something we corrected. We corrected it, and got to move on from there.
Next one's from Luke Johnson.
When they got a guy like Zadarius Smith who's just kind of moving around all over the line, what sort of challenge does that present? Where maybe you're not lining up straight across from the guy the whole game.
Yeah, it presents a little bit of a challenge, kind of a little bit of unorthodox play. There's some adjustments that you have to make, but at the end of the day, you got to play football, and depending on what the play call is, you kind of got to roll with it and anticipate kind of where he's going to be or where he ends up being. But I think they do a good job with moving him around and kind of keeping the offense on their toes as to where the offensive line as to where he's going to be. But I think we have a good plan, and we went over a lot of that game plan today, so I think we have a solid plan to attack that.
Next question's from Amos Morale.
Yeah, Ryan. I know the team announced today that they're going to let some family members of you guys come in to the stadium this weekend for the game. Do you have anybody coming?
My wife will probably go. That's probably about it, though.
And then just second question would be, obviously, coach and everybody's talked about the offense kind of not being completely in sync. As an offensive lineman, what steps do you take to kind of help, get everybody on the same page?
A lot of that just is, communication up front. We can do what we can do up front as a front five, and we have to be in sync, and then that obviously helps the entire offense be on the same page. But like I said, communication is key, and everyone doing their job, really, that's the biggest thing.
Next one's from Luke Johnson.
Hey, Ryan, how big has Nick Easton been for y'all, just filling in kind of wherever he's been needed the last couple of years?
Yeah, he's been a big part of this offense and a huge, a key player that has stepped up and stepped in moments like, he has. He's a really smart individual, really good player. Playing next to him has been good. I think we kind of got our chemistry rolling in camp, and then I think we played well next to each other too. So he's been a big key in this offense.
Next question is from Nick Underhill.
You just kind of touched on what I was going to ask, just about the chemistry between you and the guard. Do you feel like you have that chemistry, both guys? If there were to be a change there, if Caesar were to come in, like that be heightened given the challenge you have with some moving around they do on the defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I think me and Nick have good chemistry, and I think me and Caesar have good chemistry too. I think I haven't had as many reps with Caesar. I haven't had as much time to work with him. But he's a smart player too. He's a good player, gifted athlete, all that stuff. So game, I think we can play.
All right, that wraps it up. Thank you, Ryan.
All right.
Yes, you're the energy guy, always have been. Is it harder, I guess, to bring the energy when you have to draw it from yourself? There's no fans around.
Nah, actually, that makes it fun. You know, it's just from our first game, I had guys like, man, I needed that. You know, so it kind of gives me, because that's who I am anyway. You know, when we have fans, obviously guys can, you know, draw from fans plus me. You know, 'cause I'm always saying something, always talking, and you know, when guys make plays, the energy just, you know, it's a different sense on the sideline, and I mean, just not having, you know, all that going all at one time with fans and everything. It's just we got to draw from somewhere. So if I want to put it on my shoulders, and I'll do it. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Next question's from Brooke Kirchhoffer.
Greg, do you notice any similarities in Aaron Jones and Alvin Kamara's play? And also, how do you prepare for a running back like Jones?
Oh man, he's a special talent, to be honest. I was just watching him on tape. He hits the hole hard and he runs hard. The similarity between him and AK, man, like they're smaller backs, right? Theoretically, but they run super hard. You know, like they trust their skill set, they trust their feet, and when they see a hole, they hit it. You know, and having a back like that, you know, you just got to bottle him up, give him, stop his feet, and just get in front of him and tackle.
Next question's from Mike Triplett.
Craig, where does that part of your personality and providing the energy and being the hype guy come from? Was that something you added to your repertoire as your NFL career went on, or this is what people would say about you on your high school and college teams?
Man, high school, college, little league, man, you are who you are, right? And I mean, guys, especially in the NFL, but your college, your high school, like they can see through fake energy, you know. So I mean, as long as you're the same guy every day, you know, then it's genuine, you know. But I mean, this has just been me. This is how I am throughout life. This is how I am with my kids. This is how I am with my wife. You know, it's the same. So I just go through life enjoying every day.
So when the pandemic hit and you realized there were going to be games without fans, were you like, oh, this is it? I'm getting the call here.
Actually, when the pandemic hit, that was the last thing I thought about, to be honest. Pandemic hit, it was more so, you know, taking care of my family, spending time with my family. Because as an NFL player, like, we don't get a lot of time with our families like that, you know, especially in the offseason. Our offseasons are usually, you know, us in New Orleans, we're in playoffs most times, so we're getting done January, hopefully February, and then we're back here in April, you know, for workouts. So to spend that time with my family, that's more so when the pandemic hit, was more like, you know, making sure my family was okay and, you know, getting to spend more time with them. So that was, you know, when that hit was like my main priority.
Next one's from Amos Morrell.
Yeah, the special team, just particularly on the kick coverage side of it, seems to really be clicking. That you guys were able to so sharp out of the gate, and you know you didn't really have the same kind of live reps and preparation.
Yeah, preparation for us, man. Coach Riz, Coach Field, man, they do a great job of just preparing us, right? So all through training camp, yeah, we might not have live reps, might not have had preseason, but we understood coverage lanes. We understood who's getting out first, right? So we understood just the small little details that we're focused on for the season. So when it's time for us to play, we're not worried about details. We're just worried about doing our job.
Next one's from Amy Just.
Yeah, Craig, with y'all announcing as a team that you're dedicating this season to uplifting Black women and telling their stories, and that the catalyst for that, as Demario and Teron said, was Breonna Taylor, with the grand jury verdict coming out yesterday, how hard was that news to hear?
Man, I'll be honest. I gotta keep my thoughts to myself. But it was tough. You know, it was tough. You know, it comes a point in time where, you know, maybe you want to hear something different, you know, but when it comes out, it's just tough to hear, you know. But at the same time, you know, Yeah, I'm done with that one.
That's all right. Thank you.
Next question's from Brett Martell.
Hey, Craig, a little lighter topic here. Sean had mentioned this morning that it's been so quiet in the stadiums, you can kind of hear certain individuals throughout the game. And with the plan to kind of let families in, he'd even mentioned it reminds him of like youth games when you can hear someone's mom yelling the whole time.
Yeah.
So with the plan to let family in, do you think it's actually possible that some of you guys might hear a parent's voice during an NFL game? How strange would that be, and when would have been the last time any of you guys would have heard something like that?
Nah, I mean that's cool, right? So little league, high school, that's the purest level of football. You know, you're playing for your brothers, you're playing for your family in the stands, and I mean, you know, you can see your family in the stands at most high schools, and so just to be able to, you know, maybe hear your mom or hear your dad or brother or maybe kids for some of us, you know, like that's always going to be a special moment, you know, that you'll be able to have for the rest of your life. So that'll be something cool. But I haven't heard my mom. My mom was a get 'em guy. Like anytime the other team was on offense, it was get 'em, like every play, you know. So I could always hear my mama.
Great, thank you.
One's from John DeSager.
Great. You're talking about your mom, so is that where you get it from?
Nah, I don't know where I get it from. We just an energetic family, to be honest. Hey, what? I see your mask on too.
Keep it on.
All right, Craig, we're all finished up. Thanks.
All right, no problem.